Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, the original, not the remake. Yeah, I'm reviewing this movie because, of course, the remake's coming out next month. And I guess this time I talk about this movie. I'm not excited to talk about this movie, nor the remake. I think one of the fun things about these Disney remakes is it does at least give me an excuse to rewatch the original and do a video. Because some of these movies, like this one, for example, I'm not really revisiting that often. I watched this not last year, like a year or two ago when this 4K came out. But other than that, I hadn't really seen this movie in quite a long time. This is not a movie that I grew up with like some of the other Disney classics. I think when you are my generation, keep in mind I'm 22 in May of this year. My generation doesn't really know a lot about older Disney other than the 90s and the Disney Renaissance, some of the current ones. The 80s was a dark age for Disney, so of course we're not going to know about that. And some of the older ones like Peter Pan and Snow White and Cinderella, those are kind of like, we know of them because cultural osmosis, but we haven't really watched them or connected with them like different generations. Which is a shame because some of these movies, like I think Pinocchio really holds up really well. I think some of these other ones really are a lot of fun. Like I love Ichabod and Mr. Toad, some of these other ones. But, I think at the end of the day, Disney Renaissance is top tier Disney in a lot of ways. And of course, these movies laid of course, if you go back decades and decades, these movies laid the foundation for that. But it is just like going to movies like this, they're just not my go to. And I think this one in particular is not my go to because it's an hour and 23 minutes. It's a short watch, and it's a fun movie. I'm not going to say it's a bad movie. It is really a movie, though. I appreciate the artistic story behind it and how it came to be. Then I actually really ever care about watching the movie. This is a movie that is if you don't know, I don't know how you don't know this. Not only is this the first ever Disney animated film, but this is the first ever feature-length animated film. At least in this style. There were other animated films that were out there before this, but they were all animated in different styles, and they were not like this, and they were not on a mainstream level. And some of them actually have been lost to time because if you don't know, like a lot of these older films, they were reserved on film sales and things get burned and things over time happen. We don't have the ways of preserving films we do now. So I think people actually misconstrue that this is the first ever animated movie. No, it's not. It's not even the full feature-length animated movie. It's just the first mainstream level of success. This movie was a big deal. Made millions of dollars. Put Disney on the map. It won honorary Oscars. He didn't really win actual Oscars, but he won honorary Oscars, which is kind of a weird clarification there. But yeah, so this is a important movie for the history of cinema that showed animation is something that we could take seriously as a filmmaking format. There's other movies we don't even talk about now. We talk about Snow White. So I think it says a lot right there. I think the music in this movie is good, very memorable. I've really only watched this movie maybe 5 times or less in my life, and yet I know and hi ho, it's off to work we go. Hi ho. So, says something right there. And, of course, the dwarves are great characters. And they all have such great character designs. I know some people have kind of accused them of being offensive, but it goes 50-50 with that. It's not my place to judge. But as some guy who's just watching the movie, it doesn't really bother me. But, again, it's not my place to judge any of that. I just think the movie is a movie that I think if you really are into the history of cinema, you have to watch, right? But it's not a movie that I think you're going to be sticking with a whole lot other than appreciating its artistic merit. This is a gorgeously animated movie for 1937. You know, I can't say it looks modern, but there are some of these Disney animated movies from that time that look close to modern. This is one that I guess sometimes does. It's really a wonderful movie that I just not really my go-to movie. So I think if you love Disney, you gotta check, and you love the history of cinema, and you've never seen Snow White for whatever reason, yeah. Side note, before I end this review, I grew up watching a Snow White spin-off show about the Seven Dwarfs called the 7D. It used to air on Disney XD. And I wanted to review that show because no one ever talks about that show. It's just kind of disappeared. So I went on Disney Plus, searched up the 7D, which sounds like something naughty, but it's not. I searched it up, and it's not on Disney Plus. You can rent it on Apple TV Plus and Amazon Prime for like $2 an episode. So it'd be like almost $100 for 44 episodes that I don't have time to watch before the movie came out. So I'm like, fuck that. I ain't gonna do that shit. But like, why is Disney holding content of something that they're gonna remake and put in theaters next month? Like, what the fuck, guys? You guys fucking suck.